Is back in session, and before we hear our presentation from our Justice Department, I want to just mention to those of you sitting on the dais that they've put our names in the fixtures that are in front so that the camera can always see the names of the people, but we will still use these cards to raise them up here and ask a question. And it was getting a little confusing, and those cards were a bit difficult to pick up from up there. So they have done that. And hopefully I'm sure all the names are in there. I hadn't looked at it, but I know they were working hard on that, and staff did a great job on getting that turned around during the noon hour. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
See if I can still mark. Yep.
We are ready now to hear from Judge Brisbane with the report on Justice Court, and you are good to go. We have, let's see, I think we have about 30 minutes in that total. I'm trying to find my breaks here.
Yes, 30
yeah, we got
minutes.
about 30 minutes, and so about half of the time we've been doing for presentation and half of the time for any Q&A. So thank you for being here and for your staff being here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Parks, Commissioners, committee members, Administrator Schmidt, and staff. My name is Karen Brisbane. I'm the judge in the Justice Court. Thank you for inviting me to present the Justice Court budget. I'd like to thank the budget manager and her staff for putting together the budget documents, and the administrators, support staff who are working behind the scenes to coordinate these presentations. Justice Court hears traffic and other violations that are filed by police agencies. The court also hears evictions, small claims, and civil cases where the claim is up to $10,000. Justice Court is located in the Clackamas Town Center property, which provides easy access to the court from the I-205 freeway, TriMet Max train, and bus lines. The court is supported by a hardworking staff that focus on customer service when assisting the public in person, by telephone, and email. We are aware that Justice Court may be the only direct contact that many individuals will ever have with the government. The impressions they receive serve to shape their opinion of the judicial system, our laws, and law enforcement. Tab 9-2. Justice courts were created to allow a local option for timely resolution of disputes. For civil cases, the court added its small claims and general legal forms to its website. You no longer have to drive to the court to pick up a set of forms, and the small claims filings have increased. Justice courts have been institutions in Oregon since the 1800s, so some laws need to be modernized. I had the opportunity to draft new legislation along with two colleagues that was introduced and passed during the 2021 regular Oregon legislative session that updated 4 clerical processes for municipal and justice courts. In the past, a person who wanted to file a small claim in Justice Court had to come to the court in person or send a representative in person to file at the court. But now with the change in law, you can file by mail, electronically, or you can still come in person if you choose. Also, you can verify your small claim and file a satisfaction of judgment by declaration under penalty of perjury rather than by the traditional affidavit that requires you to track down a notary public. And finally, the new law expands the options for entering a violation plea by allowing an electronic or telephonic plea, plus the traditional option of entering a plea by mail or in person. All of these improvements and procedures have increased access to justice for members of the public, building public trust through good government. And now moving to the numbers, tab 9-5 is our department summary by the 2 funds, criminal and civil divisions. Justice courts divided into 2 divisions that reflect the type of laws that govern the cases. Criminal law and procedures are followed for traffic and other violations. There are 6.5 FTE in the criminal division because the highest volume of cases is in this category. Civil law and procedures control evictions, small claims, and other civil cases with 0.5 FTE. The budget numbers are divided into 2 divisions to account for the revenue received in each division. In the criminal division, $4,558,000 is the revenue. That revenue includes money that's retained in the general fund, plus restricted revenue that's passed through to the state and other local cities or counties for violations that are cited into the Justice Court in Clackamas County by police who are outside our location. In the civil division, $95,000 is revenue received from statutory filing fees and costs in civil cases, and the court's anticipating a 38.8% increase in revenue for FY 22-23. Tab 9-6 shows the pie charts that summarize the revenue and expenses for the court. On the revenue side, the 10% other revenue resources includes revenue received from collections and interest. The beginning fund balance, 23%, is the revenue from the past fiscal year that is retained in the general fund budget after the audit's complete, after the budget closes at the end of June, and then the audit's completed after that. And 67% includes statutory fees and fines. On the expense side, materials and services are 23%, personnel services 18%, 33% is the unappropriated ending fund balance, which is the revenue that's retained in the general fund, and 26% includes the special payments, which is, again, the pass-through revenue from other agencies that goes back to other counties, Washington County, Multnomah County, other local cities such as Canby, Milwaukee, Gladstone. All those agencies cite cases into Justice Court, and when they do, part of the revenue goes back to those agencies. And then finally, tab 9-7 has more detail of the summary of revenue and expenses. Working your way down the right-hand side, you can see that the 59% increase for all other revenue resources, which is anticipated as an increase, is revenue that's coming from collections. And working your way down to the materials and services, you can see that there was a bump in this current 21-22 fiscal year for materials and services. We had an increase in security costs, rent, and software maintenance due to expanding the technology for the court to make it more accessible for individuals to use the court. Going back to 1920, fiscal year 1920, toward the bottom, $1,992,060 is the revenue that was retained in the general fund after all the other money was paid out. In 2021, the actual amount was $2,308,050. This current 21-22, again, that revenue is still coming in through June, but the anticipated revenue to the general fund would be $1,245,284, which is the $1,065,000 and the $180,284. $1,245,284 is the total of those two numbers. And then for this upcoming year, we're projecting $1,515,241 will be the revenue available in the general fund. And that is the end of my presentation. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I have just a curiosity question, I guess. Back on tab 9, page 3. I wondered what, on the number 1, criminal division and the results measure, what's keeping that at just 65% of people being able to access them? I take it that's like online or through Zoom or email or other electronic kinds of things. So what keeps that from moving up?
65% of individuals who are cited appear in court. The remaining balance do not appear at all. And so they are not accessing the court.
They just don't pay attention to summons or tickets or...
True.
Whoa. Okay, you guys out there, you just need to do better. Get in. Yeah. All right, thank you. Commissioner Smith, and then Mr. Karn.
Thank you, Chair Parks. Your increased revenue of almost 39%, congratulations, Does that include pass-through revenues to other jurisdictions? Or is that net revenue?
That should be, well, the anticipated increase is going to be 7%, so 38.8 would be the total
Okay.
for pass-through, including pass-through,
Elizabeth, do you understand my question?
yes.
Yes, it includes the amount for the, collected for the other counties.
Okay.
That will be
Yeah.
passed through, but it is represented in the revenue.
Okay, right, so the 39% increase is passed-through to other jurisdictions. Got it.
Well, not just pass-through, it's also revenue that's retained here. It's all combined.
I know, but,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're not netting yourself 38.8% increase in revenue? That was, you've explained that, yes. Okay, I understand that. Thank you very much. Now, did I understand right that you're returning $1.2 million to the general fund?
Yes.
And Sandra's shaking her head. Thank you very much
And
for
it
your
could
very
be-
good work.
It could be anticipated to be greater than that because this budget was prepared before the end of this fiscal year.
I understand that, but thank you very much for your proper management and attention to detail and all that you and your staff do.
Thank you, we appreciate it. I'll pass it on to the hardworking staff we left back at court.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Karn?
Thank you. Just curiosity, your caseload that you're managing, has that increased a great deal?
The civil division has been increasing. We're seeing more mom-and-pop filers for small claims cases. So our small claims cases are about 300 per year, about 900 evictions, and that's been up and down because of a moratorium on evictions. But we're hearing most of the evictions for the county. There's an option to file in circuit court or justice court. Most of the cases are coming to justice court. And then we hear about 10,000 violations.
Okay. And then those that choose not to show up at all, has that number gone up?
That number's been the same
Has it?
for the
Okay.
past 10 years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hearing no other questions, seeing no cards up, thank you very much, Your Honor, for
you.
being here
Thank
with
you.
us today. Appreciate it, and thanks for running a budget that enables you to turn money back to the general fund.
Thank you.